Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for another episode of Player Ratings. This time Leeds United versus Blackburn Rovers. It ended all square at Ellen Road last night, seeing Leeds United draw 1-1 with Blackburn Rovers. Looked like Leeds were set to take all 3 points when they got a penalty late on, won by Mateo Joseph. Brilliantly dispatched by Pascal Struijk, just calmness on the ball. Looked like Leeds were going to take all 3 points. Yeah, but then a little bit of lapse in concentration, and at the back a little bit of disarray from a corner kick, seeing Blackburn nick a point at Ellen Road through Danny Bath, which I thought he was actually really good for Blackburn yesterday. He defended really well, and just one of them typical strong championship defenders. Yeah, so just as the final whistle blew, felt like a missed opportunity for Leeds United. Probably should have won the game. Again, there was no real quality from either side, which we expect after a busy Christmas period. It kind of did lack a little bit of quality, a little bit of cutting edge, but we'll get into that a little bit more with the player ratings. But then results did go our own way. We seen Burnley slip up then at home to Stoke with 0-0 draw. And then we seen Sheffield United then lose 2-1 away to Sunderland as well. So Leeds do extend the lead at the top of the championship table to 3 points. So I suppose every cloud and all that. And the positives to take from it is that sees Leeds United pick up 10 points out of a possible 12 over the Christmas period, which isn't a bad return at all. So next up for Leeds United is going to be an away fixture to Hull City on Saturday. So a chance to make it 3 wins from 3 away from home, which would be nice and really banish them away kind of woes that we had early on in the season. Before I get into the player ratings, this video is sponsored by O'Reilly's Autographs. If you do go check them out on Instagram, lads, genuine Leeds United memorabilia, get some hand signed himself, wait outside the training ground, Ellen Road, and get some hand signed. So go check them out. But if you do use the discount code, I will pop it down along the bottom here, the final point, you will get a 10% discount on all Leeds United memorabilia for the month of January. So really go check it out, lads. Genuine guy. So you can see we've got a Ramazani one, Mateo Joseph one, and then Dylan has Pirro and Struijk as well. But go check it out if you're at the Leeds memorabilia. That's your place to go. So yeah, lads, look at getting into it. First one we're going to hit is Illan Meslier, the man between the sticks. Again, very little to do, very similar to Derby when called upon. He done his business. He won punch clearance in the first half in front of the Don Revy stand, who got a good out fist on a good out clearance. They did well there. So I'm going to go 7 out of 10 for Illan Meslier. Again, very little by way to do, but when called upon, he stepped up. Nothing really he could do for the goal. I think the whole fence was in disarray. The ball was kind of bobbling everywhere. Nothing he could really do for the goal as well. So he's not solely to blame. It was a collective for the goal for me anyway. Yeah, 7 out of 10 for Illan Meslier. Moving on to Jayden Bogle, who did go off injured. It is suspected that it is a dead leg. It looked like when the doctors were originally testing him that it was a sort of a knee, maybe a hamstring issue, but it is said that it is a dead leg. So let's fingers crossed. Let's hope that he is okay for Hull City on Saturday. So Jayden Bogle, yeah, I actually thought he actually did really well before he went off. Put in a couple of good tackles, defensively good. He'd one solid tackle on Ohashi, who obviously he was forced off injured after that, but he was ball and man proper tackle. He was really good, and yeah, he was decent before he was taken off. It was just unfortunate that we did lose our right back. So I'm going to 6 out of 10 for Jayden Bogle, solely because he obviously was taken off through injury. We'll go with Pascal Struijk. Yeah, again for me, I think he's just colossal at the back for Leeds. You know, it really calms everything down. Again, dominated everything solid in the air, always wins his headers, and then dispatched the penalty brilliantly well. So I'm going to go an 8 out of 10 for Pascal Struijk. Again, another solid performance for him, and just loving the bits. He's really grown to be a leader in this Leeds side. You can see that from him, and I think he's just destined for big things. Pascal Struijk, what a brilliant player we have on our hands with him. Joe Rodon, defensively, I thought he was in control. At times, his passing was a little bit wayward. Myself and Dylan, with a commentator's course when we were doing the watch along, he started off really well. His passing was good. It was pinpoint, and we did turn around. Geez, Joe Rodon is on it today. His passing is really good. And then after that, then he 2 or 3 in a row where he gave away a couple of cheap passes, not really kind of pinpoint. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag passing wise for Joe Rodon. But other than that, defensively, again, he was solid, mopped up everything as he always does. And defensively, he's always in control. So I'm going to go 7 out of 10 for Joe Rodon. Moving on to left back, Sam Byram. Sam Byram gives you what Sam Byram gives you. Always kind of good on the ball, defensively solid. I just feel at times kind of going down that left-hand side, he doesn't really give us much zip. And probably for the first time yesterday, I felt like we were missing Junior Firpo a little bit just to try and get us forward a little bit more, that kind of overlap and run. He's naturally, of course, going to come back in on that right foot, which stifles that play at times, I think, a bit. But I do love Sam Byram. He always defensively, he's absolutely brilliant. He always comes in, does a job, Mr. Dependable. So I'm going to 6 out of 10 for Sam Byram. Obviously, he was forced off at half time. which is suspected illness. Supposedly he was having a bit of a breathing issue, so hopefully he is okay for Hull City. Maybe he thought it was maybe a hamstring issue, the reason why he had to go off at half time, but it is said that it is an illness, so let's hope he is going to be okay for Hull City on the weekend. Moving on to the midfield, Joe Rotwell did start, and I thought for him, I thought it was a bit of a mixed bag of a day. I thought his set pieces, some of them were brilliant, some of them were on point, some of them were a little bit wayward. At times, he does what he does, gets the ball, drives with it. That's what I love about Joe Rotwell. He seems to grab the game and drive Leeds up the pitch. But yeah, with just the way Blackburn was set up, he couldn't really create that, and it was very kind of side-to-side passing from him. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I'm going to go a 6 out of 10 as well for Joe Rotwell, which is probably, I don't think through any fault of his own, but probably one of his poorer performances in the league shirt. But I think it was just solely the way Blackburn was set up that he was very ineffective in the game. Like many in this league squad, it did lack quality, did lack a little bit of zip in the game. So yeah, I'm going to go 6 out of 10 for Joe Rotwell. Moving on to his midfield pairing, El Tanaka. Again, he worked tirelessly for me. He always gets up and down the pitch, does his defensive duty brilliantly well. He always kind of sniffs out danger. He gets back, has the legs to do it. Up any situations that may have started, he was really good at breaking up the play. His passing is always on point. No issues with his passing. Just going forward, he didn't really create anything for us. No real kind of danger. Very kind of side-to-side passing, kind of letting the wingers do it. Nothing but kind of way of shots or creativity from El Tanaka. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for me for El Tanaka. But again, like many in the Leeds squad yesterday, were very kind of ineffective in the game. Put on to Dan James out on that right hand side, and it pains me to say because I absolutely love DJ to bits. I thought it was probably one of his poorer performances in the Leeds shirt that we've seen for a while. It didn't really produce with the quality that we know that he has. His end product has been absolutely brilliant, probably over the last season or so, especially since he's been under Daniel Farke. But yesterday, it really lacked quality every time he was going down on the right hand side. Playing the ball, there was one that he ballooned over the bar with a cross, another one that he smashed wide as well, and then he kept coming back in on that left foot, doing the same kind of ball, clipping ball, and Leeds weren't going to get anywhere with it. Danny Bat was mopping up absolutely everything in there. So yeah, for DJ, I'm going to go 6 out of 10, which again, it pains me to say because I absolutely love him to bits. He was always involved, he kept going, he kept wanting it, he didn't hide away from it. It was just that final ball for me that lacked big time for DJ yesterday. And yeah, so let's hope he can get back on par for Hull on the weekend. Went on to the man in the middle, the number 10 position, Brendan Aronson. Again, absolutely full of energy everywhere. He never ever stops. He's just an absolute workhorse. He was swapped out to the left end when Leeds tried to mix things up and get a little bit going. He was swapped out to the left, and I thought he was very kind of ineffective when he was moved out to the left hand side. But in the 10 position, he did try and get about again, wasteful at times. A couple of his passing, it was a little bit wayward, not kind of enough zip on them. And he did have one really good chance where he got into the box on the right hand side, cut in on the right foot, kind of whipped it, and was just over the top, but it was directly at Pears. You think Pears would have had a comfortable save if it was on target. No real chances other than that. Same for the rest of the Leeds squad. We didn't really create too much. Moving on to the man on the left hand side, Manar Solomon. I thought he was outstanding. I thought he was so good, Solomon. He was the one for me yesterday. He showed glimpses of his magic. He was the one that seemed like he wanted the ball. Every time he got it, he had that creativity, that kind of quality on the ball. For me, he was the best player on the pitch. And I can't understand why he was withdrawn. Just before he was taken off, he played a lovely ball on his left foot, zipped it right across the box in that danger area between the goalkeeper and the fence. Dan James just missed out on the back post. I can't believe he was withdrawn because he looked like that one player with that little bit of quality that was kind of grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. And you could see by him as well when he was taken off, he wasn't too happy with the substitution as well. And I wasn't either, like I think many Leeds fans. Moving on to the man that did start up top, Joel Pirro. Did call it, did want him back in the squad after his 2 goals at Stoke. His assist at Derby, did want Joel Pirro back in. I think at times he linked the play well, came short, got the passes, played the ball around the corner. But largely for me, he was very ineffective in the game. Again, he goes missing for large periods. Then he comes back into it for a couple of minutes and then goes missing again. No real chances came his way. No real opportunities to create anything. So I'm going to go 6 out of 10 for Joel Pirro. Again, another one of his quieter performances. Substitutions. Max Vober obviously did replace Sam Byram at half time. And I actually thought he offered us a little bit more going down that left hand side. Again, it's something that I didn't think Max Vober had. He really gets forward well. He was really pushing Leeds United up the pitch, and as I said, he offered a little bit more going forward. I think just being predominantly on that left foot. I'm going to 7 out of 10 for Max Vober. I thought he was really good, and he also had a very good chance that dropped him at the edge of the 18-yard box. Lovely shot straight towards the goalkeeper's right hand side. Really tested him. Powerful effort, and was very unlucky. Really good shot, which could have caught Pears out, but he did make a good save. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for Max Vober for me. Next up is Mateo Joseph, who I actually thought had a decent game when he came on. We're obviously seeing a lot of sub appearances now from Mateo Joseph, with Joe Pirro predominantly starting all games. We know they did start against Derby County, which I thought was, again, a poor performance. But when he came on, he looked lively. He put himself about. He did win the penalty as well, and he looked like he wanted to get involved. He wanted the ball. I'm going to go with 7 out of 10 for Mateo Joseph, so not a bad performance for him. Next up is Willie Nonto. He looked lively. He wanted the ball. Every time Leeds United had it, he was coming. He was looking for it. He was dropping deep, doing that little pivot, trying to pull us up the pitch. That's what you want to see when someone's coming on. They're trying to create that little bit more, and it seemed like he kind of took that mantle for Manar Solomon. He was the one that looked like created. It kind of went a little bit flat, and then when Nonto came on, he looked like the one with a little bit of quality, trying to get Leeds United going. Unable to kind of create anything clear cut. Didn't really have any chances. He'd won that dropped to the edge of the box from a Leeds corner. Came in very similar to the Cara goal against Nottingham Forest. The execution wasn't quite there, but it did drop out to the edge of the box. Nonto did hit the volley, and it did go well wide, but I'd say if he had caught it on target, it would have been a cracker of a goal. As I said, very much the Cara-esque, but just the execution wasn't there. Next up is Patrick Bamford. I'm going to go 6 out of 10 for Patrick Bamford. Not going to say much on this because I think everyone kind of knows my feelings on Patrick Bamford at this stage. He did have the touch to kind of lead it on to Mateo Joseph to win the penalty. Other than that, he didn't do much for me. He tried to be a nuisance in and around the box, kind of that awkward man in there to try and to pull the Blackburn defence around the place, but again, largely ineffective like most of the Leeds squad. So a 6 out of 10 for me for Patrick Bamford. Last but not least is our captain, Ethan Ampadu. And yeah, he just showed his versatility, didn't he? Comes on at right full, pretty much like a utility player. We know he can play centre half, he can play midfield, he can play more forward in midfield, and he just does anywhere he's asked to play, he'll play it. We obviously know what Ampadu is not really going to be one of them overlapping right backs. So every time he did get the ball, he tried to look for DJ, tried to release DJ very, very quickly. And not his natural position for him, but I think just being called upon and to do that position, I'm going to go 7 out of 10 for Ethan Ampadu. Yeah, so not a bad performance from him either. We will see him come back in for Hull City. I do think we kind of missed him in the middle of the park there, you know, just generally kind of breaking up the play, trying to get us forward a little bit quicker from Ampadu. We did see that at Derby. He really was progressive with his passing against Derby as well. So yeah, we'll obviously see what happens there. So yeah, look, as I said, it felt like a bit of a missed opportunity for Leeds United. We could have extended our lead even more, but look, at not a bad point. John Eustace does what John Eustace does, has Leeds United fans frustrated, and that is 4 out of 6 points that Blackburn Rovers has picked up against Leeds United this season. Lads, look, at that is it for player rating. Please, before you go, don't forget to smash a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Hit subscribe to Only Leeds Bros if you haven't already done so. Myself, Dylan and Matty will be back at 8 o'clock tonight for the final point, where we'll dissect it a little bit more, so make sure you pop in for that one. That will be around 8 o'clock, half 8 tonight. That will be confirmed. We'll pop the link up. But that's it for player ratings. Again, thanks very much, and we'll chat you all again soon. Have a good one.